I travel a lot for the speaking that I do. I've done over 1,000 different speaking events in 47 different states. And so I fly all the time. I rent a lot of cars. I stay in a lot of hotel rooms. It can be really fun. It can be really interesting. Mostly the time it's not all that glamorous, right? I'll fly into a city, get my luggage if I'm not carrying it on, which I try to do, get a rental car, drive to the city that I'm speaking in. Sometimes I take an Uber or Lyft, but usually I'm pretty far away from the airport, maybe even a couple hours. And I will check into the hotel, go get something to eat in the morning, check out of the hotel, go to where I'm speaking, drive straight back to the airport, turn in my rental car, fly to the next city, get another rental car, drive to the city that I'm speaking in, check into a hotel, get something to eat. In the morning, check out of the hotel, go speak somewhere, drive back to the airport, drop in my rental car. So it's kind of my routine. And most airports are pretty much the same. Most rental car places are pretty much the same. But occasionally they're a little bit different. For example, with rental cars, at small airports are different than big airports. Big airports, usually you get on a shuttle that takes you to the rental car center, and they have all the rental car companies there. At a smaller airport, they have, just by baggage claim, all the counters for Avis and Enterprise and Alamo and Budget and all the different rental car companies. And so this story is about a day that I was flying into a cold market. I think it was Rochester, Minnesota, and it was in the wintertime. So I flew in there, and I'd rent a car from Enterprise. So I go up. They don't have a rental car center. They just had a little counter. Nice woman behind the counter gives me my paperwork. She writes on there, here's the space where your parking lot is. You find the rental cars, go down here, go out this door, across the street. Can't miss it. Now, when someone says can't miss it, that's always a bad sign. Because I get out there and I look at my paperwork, and it says she'd written on there with a pen that my car was in space 107. All right, so I start looking around. Where's 107? So I walk all around the Enterprise lot. There is nothing that says 107. Well, I think the same company that owns Enterprise owns National Rental Cars and maybe even Alamo too. And so I start walking around where all the signs are for the National cars. There's no 107. Let me look in the Avis area. Maybe got parked in the Hertz lot. I'm walking all around. I mean, it's like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes that I'm walking around. And there are not only is there no 107, there's no 10 anything. There's no spaces that even start with 1. All the spaces that I can see in this whole area start with a letter. It's like B25, and I'll walk down here and it's G19. Where's the one? So I start getting mad. Are they like punking me? I mean, am I on the wrong side of the building? Am I in the wrong parking lot? There's like 1,000 rental cars here. It says rental cars. And I didn't have the keys, right? They started leaving the keys in the cars. If I just had the bloop, bloop, I could have found my car. But all I have is this number written down on here, 107. And so I'm getting frustrated. I'm about to go back in there and read them the riot act because they gave me the wrong number. What kind of a shoddy place are you running here? And I'm getting mad. It's fine. I look at this thing and I'm like, oh. I noticed that some of the writing, the 107 was at the top of this, little, envelope. 107 was at the top, but there's writing at the bottom that was upside down. I'm like, what in the world? So I turn. Oh. I turn it around and I realize that instead of at the top of this envelope, it's saying 107. At the bottom of this envelope, it says L01. I look and I'm standing in row L, and right there, 5 feet away from me is L01. I look at the license plate on the car, license plate on the paperwork, it matches. My car's right there. I was looking at it upside down. Well, pretty simple story. I'm glad I didn't go in there and read that lady the riot act, that's for sure. I'd have felt pretty stupid if she'd have been like, "Sir, turn your paper around." And so glad I found my car. But actually, I just started laughing at myself, and I took a picture of it because it was so funny. I think I posted something on Facebook about it at the time. And but there's a lesson in it, I think, right? People get so mad about everything, and sometimes the reason that you're angry is because you're wrong. Sometimes you're just wrong, and no amount of anger or shouting or posting are going to make you right if you're wrong. And a lot of times, like in this case, I had the right information, but I was looking at it from the wrong perspective. And that causes a lot of problems for people out there in the world. Now, sometimes there is multiple ways of looking at something. Maybe you've seen this meme that has been going around the internet for years. And it's two people looking at a number on the ground, and one of them says, that's a 6, and the other one says, that's a 9. And the motivational message at the bottom says, just because you're right doesn't mean someone else is wrong. And you know what? I kind of disagree with that. Because in this example, one of those people are right. Like, I get that it looks like a 6 to one and it looks like a 9 to the other, but somebody painted that 9 on the ground for a reason, or 6. It means one or the other. One of those people is right, one of those people is wrong. And so that's what I recommend before you get too upset. This is what's going on in the world today. People get some information, usually information that they have been fed, to try to get them riled up. If you haven't seen the documentary, The Social Dilemma on Netflix, I recommend you watch it. It talks about how social media is feeding you the information that is designed to keep you watching. Sometimes it makes you happy, sometimes it makes you upset, but it's manipulating you. But people get this information, they look at it from their perspective, and they get upset or offended or riled up, and it's not doing them any good. Their life is not any more epic. They are not any more happy than they were before. In fact, it slows them down, distracts them, knocks them off course. And so I really challenge you that before you get all upset about something, take a look and make sure that you got correct information. Make sure that you're looking at it from the right perspective. Maybe there's multiple ways of looking at it, right? Maybe you take a minute to see, okay, I could get why somebody, you know what, frankly, I get why some people are so upset because they haven't seen what I've seen. They don't know what I know. I'd be upset if I was them too. And so it pays to just examine the situation, look from every different perspective. Try to use a little humility that maybe you're not right all the time, and maybe you're just not looking at things the right way.